Welcome to Northfield.space. Here in Surrey, UK, the self-empowerment journey starts with biohacking and health optimization. I was a guest on Francis Mansapit's simple Keto Carnivore podcast, so here it is.
And welcome to the podcast focused on our core values, health and well-being through a keto and carnivore nutritional lifestyle, building relationships, and having focus and clarity on our goals. Today, we are talking with a special guest, born in South Africa, then from the tender age of 6 with his family moved to London, where he grew up and was raised. He now lives in the beautiful area of Surrey in the UK, where he not only enjoys nature and the local produce, but the entire holistic approach to health and well-being. Tired of his daily routines of not having enough energy, clarity, and having the feeling of not challenging himself with his passions and interests, he wanted to take charge of his health and his entire life. With constantly seeking knowledge with ways to improve his health, he came across Dr. Berg's YouTube videos, where he learned about the foundations of the ketogenic lifestyle and intermittent fasting. He not only learned the basics and followed it, he has made it his entire lifestyle for a year and has now made it his life's purpose to share these ideas and connect with others in this space to improve their overall health. It's a privilege to call him a friend and definitely a brother on the other side of the globe. He's one of the individuals I enjoy sharing ideas on ketogenic nutrition and biohacking tips. He has an amazing podcast in Northfield Space, a self-empowerment podcast, and a YouTube channel he truly enjoys creating quality content for. I would love to introduce you to David Northfield. Hey, Dave.
Hi, Francis. Wow, that was an awesome intro. Thank you.
Well,
I feel amazing from that. Amazing, yeah.
Excellent. I'm glad. It is an absolute privilege to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on.
Cool.
You know, I know you have been really busy and focused on taking these keto ideas and concepts and biohacking tips to the next level on your podcast. And I just wanted to tell you thank you for taking the time to come on. And I definitely know more than a little about you, but can you please tell our guest just a little about you?
A little about myself. Well, so for years, basically I work in IT in Surrey, and for years I was into the usual thing in here in the UK, you know, where you get home after a long day's work, you know, you have several beers, and normally I was getting quite bad for about 10 years. I was just drinking like 8 to 10 beers a night, and then having a big meal, and just passing out, you know, and then I would get up again, you know, get back into it. So you know, some might call me an alcoholic, but you know, I was a functioning alcoholic. I could work, and there wasn't a problem with that. And I really didn't feel the hangover, you know, because I was just you know, drinking the next day. So you know, and I really enjoyed my job in IT. And you know, everybody thought I was great, so it didn't affect my performance as such in my job, but obviously it was a detriment to my health and well-being, you know. So literally last year in January, I decided to turn it around, and that was the point. I just decided, that's it, I'm going for it. And like you say, I discovered Dr. Berg, and I started cutting down on the drinking first. So that was the first thing to cut out, was the beer, really, because obviously the ketogenic lifestyle you know, you don't, that you have no alcohol on that basically. So that was a big thing for me to do, was to cut out the beer. So I'd been battling with that for years. You know, I'd be just stuck in the sort of cycle of trying to cut down and quitting, and then just back on, you know, drinking a lot again. So when I decided to do it properly, I was like, that's it. I'm not drinking during the week, but I still had some beers on the weekend. But I'd cut down drastically, and I started, you know, I started the healthy keto and intermittent fasting plan as described by Dr. Berg. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. You know, that is something that I wanted to ask you about. You brought up the beer. Was it more the beer or the food for you?
Oh, it was definitely the beer for me. I mean, I basically love drinking. I started drinking when I was a teenager. You know, it was that's just what it's like in England here. You know, a lot of people are into drinking, and then when I got my first IT job, you know, everybody was into drinking as well. It was a social thing, so you would, you know, after work you would go for a drink. You know, and I guess it just got worse and worse from there. You know, I always ate reasonably healthy. I was brought up to eat a healthy diet, not necessarily a keto diet, but it was, you know, a balanced, healthy diet. You know, I would have toast for breakfast. You know, that was my favorite, Marmite and toast, you know, for breakfast. And that would get me going. And then I would just have a normal sort of sandwich, you know, maybe sandwich or pasta or something for lunch, and then a big meal in the evening, you know. But that's just standard over here, you know, pie and chips or something, maybe fish and chips, maybe a plate of vegetables, you know, what you would maybe consider like a healthy diet.
Yeah, exactly.
In the Western world, you know, and a few beers. But obviously the beer thing, you know, the recommendation is to only have 1 or 2 units of alcohol per night, and have obviously, you know, and have days off and stuff like that. But you know, I wasn't doing that with the alcohol.
Yeah.
It had a much tighter grip on me. You know, that would be the first thing. Instead of getting home and eating, which is what I do now, you know, I would get home and have a beer. That would be the first thing, you know.
So the beer was before the food.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. So I'd probably get drunk before the food. So obviously that's a bad habit too to have, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's beer is definitely an oxidative priority on the ketogenic lifestyle. It hinders a lot of areas. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, you know, Dave, how did you get started? You know, what have you tried other ways of approaching this of your health, or was
Yeah,
this
yeah,
your way?
I did. Yeah, I did. I mean, I was probably about 10 years ago, or maybe a bit longer than that. I had started to get into being healthy. I was reading Men's Health magazine, and I joined a local gym. So I was just cutting down on everything and just following the general advice, you know, having regular meals and snacks throughout the day, you know, to keep you going. You know, going to the gym, working out, doing a lot on the cross trainer. So that was, yeah, that time that was really difficult to do that, and it took me a couple of years or even longer to do what I did just recently. But obviously the results weren't as easy and as good. I mean, you know, I'd be going to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, doing the cross trainer. So I'd probably do like an hour of like cross trainer, maybe the bike, the rowing machine, and then I would do like a session on all of the sort of weight machines. So I'd be there, you know, at the gym 2-3 hours or something, times a week. And then I was cutting down on beer, so I was just having like one or two beers, you know, trying to get to the recommended amount.
Yes.
And you know, I was trying to eat healthily and stuff like that. But yeah, it was difficult. It was hard, and the results, the weight loss results, took a long time to come. And I was just getting in shape, and I still had a bit of a belly and everything. And then at that point I moved house, and that was when I just let it all go again. And I'd lost my gym membership because it wasn't, when I'd moved, they didn't have the same gym. So I mean, I could have joined another gym to keep me going. But you know, that's what I was mainly relying on for my health and well-being, was a gym. I thought that's what you needed, was all this exercise.
Exactly.
But obviously, this last year I've discovered that's actually, you know, 90% of your weight is down to your diet, not your exercise.
Yeah, exactly.
So there we go. Yeah.
That's a great point, and it's really insightful, because, you know, I'm the same. A lot of us, we come from that thinking of, we have to really put in a lot of work, you know, like physical exercise, and that's where health kind of starts from. That's what we're taught to think, I think, from my point of view. And I'm glad that you realized just how important nutrition is.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what, you know, in the beginning, when you started living the ketogenic lifestyle and actually learning the foundations, can you tell us some hurdles that you personally faced just starting out?
Just starting out. Well, I mean, like I say, the main thing for me was cutting out the beer. So that was one thing. But I think actually, you know, following the keto diet and intermittent fasting did help with that. I guess the other hurdle was just getting used to all the new way of eating, you know, and making sure that I was making like healthy keto friendly salads and things like that. So, you know, to start off with, I guess one of the main things was giving up my breakfast, because, you know, I was like, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, you know. I can't, like, literally, if I woke up in the morning and I didn't have breakfast, I was very upset about it. I'd be like, I need my breakfast, otherwise I can't function, you know. I need my Marmite and toast, I've got to have it, you know. That was like a staple thing that I had to have every morning. And, you know, Dr. Berg's recommendation was, you know, cut out the carbs and the sugar, and then start, you know, cutting down on your meals. So have 3 meals a day, which I was doing, and then obviously skip breakfast. So that was a big thing for me. But I think, you know, as Dr. Berg says, you know, once you're on the keto for a week, your hunger starts to go away, and you feel like you don't really need breakfast. You get more energy. You know, you feel like you've got a lot more energy in the morning, and that sort of thing, and just sort of you know, and you can feel that, you know, you have your Marmite and toast, and by come 10 o'clock you're hungry again, you know.
Exactly.
And you feel like you need to eat something more, and you have a sort of slump. So it's just, you know, it's just so much better now, basically.
That's good. But, And you know, the is it Marmite? Is that a jam in the UK?
No, it's
Can you tell me about?
It's yeast extract.
Oh, okay.
It's actually quite good for you. It's got lots of vitamin B's and stuff. It's yeast extract, so it's actually a good thing. But having the toast is.
Oh, it's the toast. How are the carbs? What are the carbs on that, and the sugars on the Marmite?
No, well, the Marmite I think is actually pretty good. The Marmite
Yeah,
is fine to have on keto.
yeah,
In fact, I use I can't remember what it's called now, but it's not Marmite, but it's basically the same sort of thing. So,
yeah.
um, I was experimenting because I had tried like the diet from Rosa Elliott. She wrote a book,
Okay.
which is it. She wrote it quite early, and I think she was talking about keto, although she didn't know what it was called.
Mm.
So I had already tried it, and she had I'd started using her bread, which was like it was a low carb bread that she'd made.
Oh, really?
So I was actually having that in the morning.
Is
So
it something you picked up in your local area?
what the no, my parents actually found the book,
Oh,
and but yeah, my parents found the book and they introduced it to me. So we did try that for a while.
okay.
But the thing was, it was the alcohol that was difficult for me, to quit. But because, like I say, I'd have like maybe a couple of weeks off or a week off the alcohol, and then some event would come along or something, and you'd have a few beers, and then you just get back into that drinking again,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
so it was difficult for me, and I think that was one of the hardest things, was actually basically deciding that I had to cut down on the beer, and making that conscious decision that I'm definitely not going to drink during the week,
Yeah, yeah,
and if I drink on the weekend, I'll only have one or two drinks.
exactly.
So I knew, because I knew from experience before that if I started having more than a couple of beers, then I would just be going down that rabbit hole again, where I'd get drunk and I wouldn't care about it anymore. You know.
Yes. Dave, that is an extremely good point that you brought
Mm.
up with the beers and everything,
Yeah.
and how you started. I
Mm.
wanted to ask you though, and this is a very important point, I think, for all the guests as well and the viewers.
Yeah.
Um, when you adopted your new lifestyle of ketogenic nutrition,
Mm.
was it hard to adopt this in your particular area of Surrey in the UK? Like, were you able to get products around, or did you have to go to like a specialty place?
Well, not really, actually. I mean, I guess it depends what you're talking about. A lot of the shops around here, there's like Waitrose and Sainsbury's. They do organic food, so getting fresh organic salads and meat and stuff is very easy. There's also I also use like Riverford and Abel and Cole. They deliver organic produce.
Okay.
So getting nice fresh organic foods is like really easy to get. I guess the thing that I found difficult to get was the stuff that Dr. Berg was recommending, things like electrolyte powder.
Yeah.
He was recommending his electrolyte powder, which is available in America, but if you buy it over here, it's expensive.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
Things like
Yeah.
his nutritional yeast that he recommends and all his other products. So I had to get all of that sort of thing. I was doing quite a lot of research online, maybe finding things on Amazon and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But more recently, when I went on holiday, I found this organic shop, and I was like, wow, this is great. So there are like organic health food shops all around the UK, and I found a local one here as well in Guildford. And if you go to the health food shop, they normally sell organic, they normally sell vegan and vegetarian stuff,
Yes.
and it's all like really good stuff. Things like because I was trying to be like a vegan or vegetarian, and they're they sell like things like tofu, because you've got to be careful with tofu,
Yeah.
because just the standard stuff is soybeans, and a lot of that is GMO, so you really
Yes.
want to make sure you get organic. So and also the health food shop, I've discovered they've got all the supplements there, and basically everything that you need, and there's normally somebody at the health food shop who knows, who knows a bit about the supplements and what's going
Yes,
on.
yes.
Obviously, after I've done a lot of research online, I'm actually finding that most of the stuff now I can get from the local health food shops as well.
Yeah,
So,
in your area, right? And that's
yeah, right in my area. Yeah, so it's great for that. Yeah, and some of the other supplements that are more difficult to get hold of, I want to basically sell on my website. So that's what I'm planning on doing. But
oh, excellent.
just to make it easily accessible for everybody, and just like all the sort of products and things that I use, like easy accessible for people in my area, because a lot of them came across the same hurdles as I did, that
Yes.
they couldn't get, you get some electrolyte powder online on Amazon or something, and then you find out it's got like sugars or something in it,
Yeah.
or whatever they've just chucked in there, that it's
Exactly.
not good. And people don't realize, they don't really do their research, but I take the time to do the research and find out and make sure I'm getting the product that's good.
Yeah, and I like how you did the organic approach in your local area. And a lot of, when I talk to people, whether it's traveling or just whoever I meet, and we'll discuss about different diets or whatever it is, food and nutrition. I think a lot of people think that you need to start off ketogenic nutrition with all the supplements first. And what I like about a lot of the information that's put out from credible people is that you have to start with just the natural foods first. You just start with the natural foods in your area, whatever local produce it is. You have to start off with that. And I like how you actually did your research in your local town and you found these places, because sharing that information with other people will save so much time, and especially money from shipping, so yeah, especially the electrolyte powder. I'm sure you can, since you're into biohacking, you can definitely figure out some type of concoction with all your local ingredients maybe in the future,
Well, pretty much. I mean, basically I adopted talking about that, I do make a little concoction of my own to drink in the morning. Based on what Dr. Berg has recommended. So
are they all local ingredients?
Some of them are local ingredients, and some of them I had to get online. So things like I make this drink, so it's got lemon juice in it. So I get the lemons delivered from Riverford.
Okay.
So I squeeze a lemon into there.
Yes.
Also online, I found a UK company that sells like the individual electrolytes. So the magnesium citrate, potassium citrate. You want to get the citrate form because that's pretty good. If you get the sulfate form, that's not really going to be good for you.
Is it the bioavailability of it?
Sorry?
The bioavailability of it in your system?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's just from what I've heard, obviously I listen to a lot of YouTube videos from Dr. Berg to Simland and the biohacking community. So, I pick up all sorts of information from there.
Yeah.
But definitely. I basically that's what I've been told, that you want to get the citrate form. So I have that. I have the magnesium and the potassium powder, and also another good thing is the Himalayan sea salt. So I put that in my drink as well, because that's obviously got electrolytes and also minerals in it, and obviously you've got the sodium in there. So that's really good. So, and then the other thing I do is I put stevia in there, because I like to have it a bit sweet.
Yeah.
So I've found some stevia that I purchased online on Amazon.
Gosh, it sounds like a lemonade.
Yeah, it pretty much is. I'm making my homemade lemonade, but without sugar. You see, no sugar.
Yeah,
no
exactly,
sugar involved.
exactly.
And you can have it, when you're fasting, which is great. It hardly breaks your fast at all, and also you've got the vitamin C there in the lemon juice, and also, lemon juice is a natural diuretic, so it gets your digestion going.
Yes.
And that
are you drinking this hot or cold?
It's a cold drink.
It's a
And
cold
then
drink.
also, yeah, and then also in that drink, I will have apple cider vinegar. So I just have a couple of teaspoons of apple cider vinegar in there,
Okay.
which is really good for your digestion.
Yes.
Um, and what else? And that's pretty much it, I think. And I'll have that drink. I'll make that drink, and I'll sip on that all day during my fasting period.
Yes. So
And that keeps
you
me
kind of put
going.
it in, do you put it in like a type of thermos or something that you can carry around?
Yeah. Just something like this. I just have one of these, and
Okay, excellent. Excellent.
I'll sip on all day. In fact, that's got coffee in it. But yeah, so that's
So
so yeah.
it's not just a breakfast thing. It's something that you can just carry around with.
No, that's right. Well, in fact, for my sort of breakfast, although it's not really breaking a fast, for the breakfast, I basically have the same drink,
Yes.
but I also put in there wheatgrass juice powder,
Oh, really?
which is
You're going to
obviously
wheat?
Dr. Berg recommends that. And I found
Okay.
one. I mean, Dr. Berg has he has his wonderful wheatgrass juice powder, which I'd love to get because he gets it from the ancient seabeds and all this sort of stuff.
Yes.
And it's got all the stuff in it, so it's great. A lot of the ones that you purchase here, they literally just in Europe, they just chop the whole plant down and grind it, so it's very carby.
Yeah.
Whereas the where they do it in the US, they actually squeeze the juice out of the wheatgrass and then and freeze dry it into a powder.
Okay.
So you actually get the juice rather than just a whole plant chucked in your drink. So that's another thing you see. It's just finding the right, things like that. You just buy, which I did. I bought some online. It was just wheatgrass powder, and I was like,
Yes.
oh, whoa, this is carby. It's going to break my fast. Whereas the actual wheatgrass juice powder, I found one online that I could actually buy at a reasonable price.
Yeah,
That
and
is
that's
good. So I
definitely
chucked that in there as well. So that's got all the vitamin B's and all that sort of thing to keep your energy levels up and everything. So, that's basically what kept me going. Yeah.
yes. And it's good that you bring up the carbs. You have to watch the carbs. That's really one of the foundations of being keto. You don't want to run
Yeah.
on the carbs. And I'm glad you point that out about looking at
Mm.
the labels of how many carbs it has. Because a
Yeah.
lot of times, especially for me, I don't examine the labels as thoroughly as I should.
Mm.
And I learned that through through my way of eating and everything as well. Dave, you brought up a good point about that lemonade in the morning, and I want to ask you, can you run us through one of your morning routines, like a common morning routine? From what time you get
Well,
up and what do you do in the morning?
yeah. I mean, and now I'm sort of optimizing my morning routine. So first thing I get up, I hydrate. So I drink some water, uh, and then
I need to ask you, when you drink that water, does it matter the temperature for you? Do you drink something ice cold? Do you drink something warm?
well, I mean, I drink cold water because I've got a thing about drinking. I just love cold water, basically cold fizzy water. So that's what I
Okay.
drink. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. That's necessarily a good thing for you,
Yeah.
um, but that's what I like. That maybe that's my one vice there. Just the cold fizzy water.
Cold fizzy water. Are these like a sparkling water, like one of the local?
Well, actually,
Are you
I
making it?
I make it myself. So I've got a soda. I've got a soda stream,
Oh yeah.
which
Okay. Yeah.
I've got a soda stream. Oh, because obviously I was buying a lot of bottled water, and I want to be careful with the environment. There was a lot of plastic bottles of water I was getting through, so I was aware of that, and so I invested in a soda stream. So obviously I just get the gas delivered, and the bottles are returned.
Yes.
So that's good. And then also I've got a Brita water filter that I stick in my fridge, and that gives me
Okay.
filtered water. So I fill that up with filtered water. So I've got plain filtered water, um, and then of course I fizz that up in my in my soda stream. So I've got plain and fizzy water
Okay.
that are filtered, because obviously you don't really want to drink the straight tap water, which is
Exactly.
what I used to
You
drink
want it
all the
filtered.
time.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
So Dave,
yeah,
you wake up in the morning, you get that fizzy ice cold water in. What do you do
yeah.
after?
And then straight after that, I'll probably sit down to meditate for, depending on the day. It varies because depending on my schedule, how busy I am, I might meditate for 10 minutes or I might meditate for half an hour. So whatever I can fit in there.
Is this you sitting on the floor on a chair, quiet time?
Yeah, pretty much. I just sit on the edge. I just sit on the edge of my bed with a straight back, and I basically practice transcendental meditation that I got taught
Yes.
from a young age, which is basically just repeating a mantra in your head,
Yes. Yes.
and just doing that. So that's basically what I do. So yeah, it is very quiet and relaxing, and it just, you know, calms your mind down. It just settles you into your space.
Okay. After the meditation, what do you do after
And
meditation?
then after that, I follow through with what I picked up from Steve Maxwell.
Okay. Which is
uh, well, he did a hotel workout with Brian Rose, and basically that it starts off. You just start off rubbing your head like this, invigorating your head,
okay.
and then sort of massaging your eyes, massaging your earlobes, then massaging your
Your throat.
thyroid here.
Okay.
And then we do a bit of tapping as well. So there's a load of sort of massaging and eye exercises as well, like moving your eyes left to right, up and down, and around and around.
How long does this take? This workout?
It probably takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Um, and then there's also massaging just your organs as well. So massaging your
Okay.
stomach and
Mhm.
things like that. So yeah, just a few things like that I picked up, and also, you know, things like using a tongue scraper,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and um, and what's that thing called? Oh, you just like pour it through your nose. Oh, I can't remember what it's
Is
called
that
now.
a neti pot?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
neti pot. So yeah, that's another thing. I use the neti pot as well because, you know, obviously there's a lot of pollution here and stuff,
Yes. Yes.
and especially in winter time, you get in the colds and that. So yeah, I use the neti pot as well
Oh, I
every
use the
morning.
neti pot like
Yeah,
every winter.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
amazing. It's amazing.
yeah.
I have one that you use manually, and I also have an electric one. And I'll probably recommend that to you later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, excellent. Wow. You wake up, you get your ice, fizzy water in, you do your meditation, and then you do your workout.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, After that,
Well, pretty much after that, I'll have my morning drink, like I was
yes,
saying before, the drink that I have,
yes,
and then I'll get ready for work. Basically, yeah.
yes,
I mean, so if I've got enough time, I do like to fit in some qigong breathing as well. But recently, I've been so busy, I haven't managed to do that. I sometimes do that on the weekend and stuff, but
yes.
I'd love to include that. But, you know, it's just a time thing. I'd
Yeah,
just love to
yeah,
have a bit more time and space to fit in that, and do, because that takes another 20 minutes to do my qigong
yes,
breathing
yes.
exercises. So
I'm sorry.
whenever I can, I fit that in. Yeah,
What is it called?
qigong breathing.
Chicken breathing. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So it's because I
Where
did.
did you learn it from? Was this
Uh,
a Steve Maxwell thing as well?
well, there was a local school that I went, a local class that I went to, that it was a Tai Chi class.
Oh, okay.
Um, so they taught us Tai Chi, and part of that was Qigong breathing. So I learned the Tai Chi long form
Mhm.
for about, I think I did it for about 6 years. And then part of that was actually teaching the beginners as well. Once you got to a certain level, you taught the beginners. Um, and one thing that I really enjoyed from that was the qigong breathing. And it's sort of like another form of meditation, because I
Yes,
did find the sort of mental, the repeating of the mantra, that mental meditation was quite difficult for me,
yes,
and I was finding that the physical meditation, you know, doing the qigong breathing and that sort of thing was just brought me out, and I just preferred that sort of physical sort of breathing meditation.
Yes.
So I love to do that as well. Yeah.
That's great. That sounds great. That's an amazing morning routine. It sounds like you have everything down packed, and it's good that you point out that you also keep aware of the time constraint, because you know, I also think about the meditation thing is really important, and there's some things you don't want to rush. You want to make sure you have enough time to do it properly. So I like how you choose the certain days to do it. So if you cannot get it to the weekdays, you throw it in the weekend, which is great. You know, Dave,
Yeah.
I also know that you have really focused on your nutrition and meditation and all these amazing biohacking things and tips that you learned. You know, I also know that you started some exercise routines. Recently, you joined a running club.
Yeah, that's right.
That's great. Can you tell us about that? I mean, what? First of all, have you joined any clubs like this before, and what kind of inspired you to join it?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I never really liked running ever. To be honest,
That makes two of us, because I'm not really a cardio person, but I try to do
no,
it. Yeah, I try to get it in, but yeah, it really is something I'm not really fond of.
no, exactly. And I've never liked it since a young age. So I mean, basically, what I started off with was because I knew that strength training and building up your muscles was a really good thing to do. So I started with that, doing that on my own. And then I met a friend of mine. I linked up with him, and he's got a condition where his joint seizes up, so he has to work out um, regularly to keep his joints moving. He has to keep active as well, otherwise he'll just seize up. So I started actually going to the gym with him, and he was basically showing me some excellent workouts, basically doing free weights, because before at the gym I was just using the machines, and then I would go to the sauna. But then he was saying, no, you really got to do the free weights, because that's going to build up more of your muscles better, rather than just isolating them on the machine. So yeah, it just started with that, and I've been now regularly meeting up with him once a week, doing this free weight session with him,
Yes.
which is great. And then he was like, "Oh, do you want to join the running group?" You know, I was like, "Oh, well, okay, let's try it out." So yeah, I've been a few times,
Okay.
and it's been actually quite nice. It's just nice to meet up, you know, have a sort of social thing, and go for a run. We don't do anything too extreme, you know. It's just like
Yes. Yeah.
20 minutes, half an hour, and you know, we keep up with we run at the pace of the slowest person.
Oh, excellent.
um
That's great. That's big,
yeah,
actually. You know,
so yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
really
definitely, it's good to get in workouts with a group. I learned
mm,
it's motivating, and
mm,
there's a type of socializing aspect you don't get with just lifting like free weights by yourself. So I'm glad that you're covering all bases. So you are
mm.
doing the free weights as well as cardio.
That's right. Yeah, no, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, so at least once a week I do the free weight session, because I think you don't really need more than that,
Yeah.
than once a week, and then twice a week to just do the run. So
Yes.
that just gets me out.
Yes.
Uh, yeah.
That's great. You got your nutrition down and everything and the morning routine. Dave, how does your sleep patterns look? Do you get in, do you sleep longer than before? Do you wake up throughout the night? How, how does your sleep look in general?
Well, I have been optimizing my sleep, and I've got an Aura ring. So
I was wondering
that
what that was.
that Aura ring, that actually tracks your sleep.
Yes.
So being a biohacker, I like to measure that, and a lot of biohackers have the Aura ring, because sleep is just so important. It's probably like the number one thing you can do. So
Yes.
so I have been optimizing my sleep as much as I can,
Dave, what
So
exactly is an aura ring? Because I'm not too familiar with it. And to some of our listeners that are just learning these new terms and new gadgets,
yeah.
can you explain it to us, please?
Well, Aura Ring, it's basically a piece of technology. I'll show it to you here.
Okay.
Uh, and what it does is it obviously it's just a ring, and it's quite light. It's made out of titanium, and it it basically measures your heart rate.
Okay.
It will measure your so it can tell you how fast your heart's beating. It also measures your heart rate variability, and it will measure movement. It does measure your movement during the day,
Hmm.
but the main thing that it does is measure your sleep and your heart rate. So from
Is it connected to an app on your iPhone or something?
yeah,
Oh,
I've got the
really?
app.
Oh,
Yeah,
so there's an entire thing then.
yeah. It's a piece of technology. It's
Oh,
Bluetooth
excellent.
to your so there's the Aura app. I'll show you. Actually, my score for today is it's it gives you like a little thing here. So you see this says go
Yeah.
big. So I'm doing quite well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So
Yeah. So
how many hours are you getting? Is it anything above six to eight? Anything above eight?
well, last night I got 6 hours 45 minutes of sleep.
Hmm.
And if I look at my sleep data here, last night was actually a very good night's sleep for me. So I
Yes.
was in bed. I was in bed for 7.5 hours, and I got 6 hours 45 sleep, according to this.
That's great.
Um,
That sounds
so
really
that
good.
is actually very good. And my resting heart rate was at 53 BPM. So that's pretty good.
I've noticed even with myself that
Yeah.
a good night's sleep can make a
Mm,
huge difference on my entire week.
yeah.
Like just having
Yeah.
some good rest has really improved my overall
Definitely.
well-being. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm glad you have that ordering and all of these gadgets that you're showing me because I'm not as techy as you, so it's really good.
Yeah. Cool.
Dave, I wanted to ask you, you got into the ketogenic lifestyle and
Mm,
you actually really made an amazing thing by committing yourself and really learning these basics and doing the research. And I talked to you before the podcast, and we talked about a bunch of stuff, and just the information that you have gathered has really truly amazed me. And I take so many notes, and I'm talking to you sometimes. I'm like, these mental notes, I'm like, I got to check this out. I got to see if it works. I got to check this new thing out. I have to check this new supplement out, whatever it is. So it's been really good for me, and I want to thank you for that. But can you please give? I want to ask if there's someone that's just trying to start off getting their health together.
mm.
If there's one tip that you can give to that person, what would it be? The person that's just trying to get their health started, trying to get their life in order.
What's the one thing? Yeah, that's difficult because, well, yeah.
That first step, because
The
uh,
first step, I
yeah.
would say the first step would be to to cut down to 3 meals a day. That's what
Okay.
I always advise people,
So
because
kind of
I know
stop.
people, I know people are they're snacking in between meals, are having snacks at late at night. Um, to start off with, the most important thing you can do is get some sort of fasting period into your life. And
Yes.
back in the day, before the world wars, people just used to have 3 meals a day. That's what they had.
Yes.
um,
Yes.
they would have their dinner at 6 in the evening, and they wouldn't have anything until breakfast, at 7 or 8 in the morning, or whenever it was. So they would get that 12 hour, that fast in there. So I would say, yes, stick to 3 meals a day. That
Okay.
that will get you started, and obviously cut out all the sugars,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
sugars and the
Exactly.
and the processed carbs. That will
Yes.
be the first thing. That will be the first thing to start people off. 3 meals a day, cut out all the sugars and carbs,
Yes.
or at least cut down on them anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great point, actually, because
Yeah.
you know, the second that you can control your snacking time,
Mm,
you feel like you have some type of control on what you're putting in your body. I noticed that. Like if I know
mm,
I'm not going to have any snacks, I'm
yeah.
definitely going to make sure that the food I'm actually eating is going to help me last throughout the day with the energy and the
Yeah.
cognitive clarity that I need. An
Mm,
awesome tip: 3 meals a day. Cut out the
yeah.
snacks, which is good. Thank you. That's excellent. Dave, what is your favorite? I just wanted to ask you this because you have tons of books behind you and materials. What's your favorite book? Because you got like these things I can see behind you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think my favorite book is going
At
to
the
be
moment, at the moment,
the
you have tons of
at the
books.
at the moment, yeah, at the moment is the Biohacker's Handbook. That's got to be my favorite book at the moment.
Really?
It's such an amazing book. I'll just get that out now.
How
And
many times have you read it?
well, actually, I haven't actually. I only just got it over Christmas,
Oh,
and
really?
I'm just starting to read it now.
Okay.
And guess what the first chapter is?
What is it? Sleep?
Oh, you're right. The first chapter.
Oh,
Sleep. Would you
I knew
believe
it.
it?
I knew
Would
it.
you
I knew
believe
it.
it? So sleep, yeah, number one.
And
Number one,
it
sleep.
has to be. I think it has to be. Sleep is so important.
Yeah.
You know, that was
Yeah.
such a good guess. I'm proud of myself. Dave, where did you pick up the book? Was this just a gift from a friend? Did you find it online? Did you?
uh, well, actually, I recently went to the Biohackers Summit in
Okay.
Helsinki, where they were promoting the book, and I just love all the stuff that they're doing. They're so cutting edge there.
Yes.
Um, and they just recently released the book in English, so I had to get myself a copy. So that's yeah.
Dave,
I've got it, and
what?
I've got to find some time to read it now.
Just carry it. Just lug it around with you all day with your
Yeah, yeah.
with your drink. What's can I get the name? Is there a specific name for the event, or is it like is it a January event? Is it a monthly event, an annual event?
Normally, it's an annual event,
Okay.
and it's just called the Biohackers Summit.
Yes.
Biohackers Summit,
Yes.
and they're based in Finland.
Okay.
Well, they're based in Finland, and yeah, the next Biohackers Summit is in Amsterdam on the 5th and 6th of June.
Of this year.
Yeah,
Is it
of
this
this
year, right?
year.
Yeah, this year.
So that's the next one they're going to have. They moved it to Amsterdam just to make it more accessible for everyone in
Okay.
Europe. But I believe they're going to have another one in October of this year as well in Helsinki as well, because that's their sort of homeland.
How are the turnouts for it? Was there a lot of people? Was it decent?
Yeah, the last event I went to was fully booked. Actually, let me just double check. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have a quick look
Sure, sure.
because they've got it on their.
And I remember you mentioning it being called the Biohacker Summit or Symposium Summit.
No, it's just called the summit. Yeah. So
Oh, the summit. Okay.
if you look up, but literally their address is biohackersummit.com.
Okay.
So, but if you just search up Biohacker Summit, that
Yes.
it will be the first one coming up. So they just had their 5-year anniversary, and that was the one that I went to on the
Excellent.
first and 2nd of November in Helsinki.
How
And
long was the event? Was it an all day thing, half day, 3 hours, 2 hours?
it, it was a 2-day event, and I'll tell you how many people attendees over 1,000 people came.
Oh wow, that's great. That's huge.
There were 49 speakers. Literally, the event was sold out, so they're going to need a
Yeah.
bigger event. 49 speakers and 54 exhibitors and sponsors. So, and their theme was optimize your day 24/7. So, yeah,
The,
right
sec-
out my street.
the second you say optimize, I'm just thinking, Dave, that's your word, optimize.
Yeah.
Dave, it's a 2-day event, so you planned for it well in advance.
Oh yeah, definitely. I bought the tickets,
Yeah,
booked my flights and
the
everything, and had it all
accommodation.
planned. And yeah,
Excellent,
awesome.
excellent. Are you going to be attending the event, the next event in a few months? Are you
Oh
planning
yeah,
to?
definitely. I've got my tickets already.
Excellent. You know, the biohacking thing has been an interest of mine for a while, but when I talked to you about it, you just really got me more interested in it, and I've been searching for content online and for books to buy. So I'm definitely going to be talking to you more about that in the
Great.
near future.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'm so glad we covered that. You know, Dave, I love your story and the insights you bring to the podcast. I want to thank you for coming on, and I love how you brought up a very important aspect of empowerment. And I wanted to ask you, what is with that word empowerment? What does it mean to you?
What does it mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's just empowerment is just, building up your self-confidence again, being able to feel that you can join in with society again, uh, that you can perform to your the best level that you can. Um, because before when I was overweight, obviously I was good at my job and everything, but I still had that lack of confidence,
Yeah.
to speak out, and to fully interact with people, and that sort of thing. So yeah, the self-empowerment is all about, getting your confidence back, um, getting your health back, so that you feel good and you feel
Yeah.
confident, and that way you can, start building social connections, which is a great thing to do. I found that difficult before because, when you have that lack of confidence, then you're not so confident just to speak to somebody, like, say, for example, down the sauna or somewhere where you might not want to socialize at all, but now I find it really easy, and that's the self-empowerment for me. Yeah.
That's amazing. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that you would share such a powerful message, because
Hmm.
I think a lot of people, they don't feel confident to talk to other people. They don't feel confident about themselves. And I like how you said that it's important to build yourself up.
Hmm.
And I can see that you are constantly building yourself up, and you
Hmm.
have made leaps and bounds, I think. And it's an amazing thing you're doing. Dave, I would love to ask you, what are you currently focused on in your life? Any projects, future goals?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm at the moment I'm focusing on my new podcast and health and well-being business that I've literally just setting up
Yes.
now. Um, so that's my Northfields.space self-empowerment
Yes.
podcast. And also I've set up a website as well, Northfields.space. So that's what I'm focusing on now. And obviously I just want to help as many people as I can, or, get on the same sort of journey as me to self-empowerment and to optimize their health and well-being. So
That's great. Yeah, that's
that's where
great.
that's where I'm heading.
That's great. And I'm glad that you said help other people, because when you said that you didn't feel confidence about being able to go out into society, I think a lot of people, they feel alone in this
Mm.
journey of health and well-being. And I think what you are sharing with people is a connection that is essential, you know, to your overall health and well-being. So that's great. You have a podcast. It's called Northfield Space,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's a self-empowerment podcast. You have a podcast as well as a YouTube channel, I know.
Yeah, I've got my YouTube channel as well. Yeah. It's all linked on my website, northfields.space. So yeah, I'll be uploading some videos on there soon, hopefully.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Anything you're focused on in the videos, recipes, any other content idea, like things that you might want to share?
Oh, well, yeah, I will be. At the moment, I've just done a film down the local gym, doing a workout of the free weights workout that I do. So I'll be sharing that soon. So that should be interesting. Also, yeah, I will be probably showing some of the recipes and foods that I prepare as well in the kitchen, and some of the some of the things, the drinks, like I say, that I make in the morning as well. I'd like to share that. Yeah, definitely.
Excellent, excellent. So we're going to learn some of your special concoctions.
That's right. Yeah. I've got to spread the knowledge.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Dave. It has been a privilege to hear your story and to definitely share ideas. And I'm always looking forward to chatting with you whenever you have time. So I always try to catch you, whether it's on Messenger or whatever. So I'm always thankful that we have time to chat. And I'm definitely looking forward to having you on the podcast again in the future. So again, I want to thank you so much. And I want to thank our listeners for tuning in. And Dave, I want to thank you again for coming on the podcast, and I want to wish you a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Dave.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Francis. Bye.
Yeah, talk to you soon.
Don't forget to check out the Simple Keto Carnivore podcast. Links are in the description. See you on the next one. Get healthy and stay optimized. Don't forget to click like and subscribe.